Good morning, gang. We're looking at abundant sunshine today. It is going to be absolutely beautiful. Roger Hill is saying 47 degrees. Love it. Still be careful, though, if you have any plans to, do any brush burning and stuff. I think there is still a high risk that has presented itself weather-wise for any kind of burning. So just make sure you're careful with regard to that. But happy Thursday. We're looking at another cold one tonight, 24 degrees with clear skies tomorrow. We are rebounding 55 and sunny. And I heard Roger saying by the end of the weekend, we could be pushing right up against 70 degrees. Finally, we are making it to more spring-like temperatures. Right across from me is a guy that I am so excited to bring on. I want to thank you, Bob Nelson, for being a part of this experience here and what we're doing here at Aired Out, for being a presenting sponsor for so long. You're right across the street. Every single time this camera is on, it is shooting your storefront, and we just appreciate you, man, so much.
Thank you. We appreciate being part of it, and now that I know that, we'll make sure to keep the storefront really clean as much as possible.
How can you keep the windows clean this time of year, though? I mean, I've seen the dust plumes. You've seen them.
It's in the winter particularly, it's hard because it's so cold and you can't really wash the windows.
Right.
We did them this week, and I mean, they were so dirty. Since the flood last year, everybody knows there is just the silt and dust downtown.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's going to be there. It's going to be there for a while. The city has really tried. They've gotten out and they've tried to clean the streets. They've tried to clean the parking lots. But there's just so many places, those little low spots, not that our pavement is bad, mind you.
Yeah,
but
right.
There's some low spots and places for it to hide. And then you get these winds, and it just blows the dust everywhere.
We're both paddling against the stream, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Listen, man, I can't believe, we were just chatting before we went hot this morning that we're in the 41st year that you have been owner of Nelson's Ace Hardware.
That's crazy because I'm only 40 years old.
Exactly.
I don't know how that happened.
How did that happen?
It's amazing.
In 1983, is that right?
Yeah.
That's when you officially became owner.
That's when Nelson started. Mom and Dad started out owning the store.
All right.
And in about 1989.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. It was when I graduated from high school. God.
In 1989, Linda and I purchased control of the business, and then in 96, we purchased it outright. Okay. So, yeah, but the business has been here a very long time, and of course, the Nelson family has been serving Son of Vermonters for in excess. It's got to be close to 150 years. Whether it's my father and my uncles or my grandfather, my great-grandfather, Nelsons have always sold something to help service the community.
Were you walking around did you have hair in your head?
Yeah, I did.
Did you have a members-only jacket?
No.
Okay.
I did have a mullet.
You did?
And it was a good one. It's a little-known secret, but when I had hair, it was ramrod straight. I mean, I couldn't do anything. So in about somewhere around 1983, maybe 84, my girlfriend at the time suggested that I try getting it permed. So not only did I have a mullet, but I had a permed mullet. Oh, it was flowing, man. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Listen, I wanted to get a photo of you and Kelly this morning because she may walk in. She may. It depends.
That's the rumor.
I mean, she's the manager over there. She's busy as hell this morning. If she can, she'll come over and sit down next to you. She certainly knows where we are. She's got about less than 50 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for a picture of the two of you this morning. Found you on from a Halloween party of you and Kelly. Hellboy. I mean, look at you, man. Jeez. You guys have so much fun over there.
We do.
there's
do.
always a
and
theme.
Kelly's a large part of that.
Yeah, she is. And
The
and
party's
Annette,
always circling around Kelly.
yeah, and Annette too. It's just such a great family over there. You guys are always doing themes. You're dressing up. You're having fun. You're bringing people in not just to shop and get what they need, but also have a positive experience and walk away with a smile on their face, and what they need in the bag, but a positive experience.
Yep. And that's what the culture that we try to create is that the folks coming in, whether it's you or anybody else,
Sure.
we make sure that they get what they need. We try to take good care of them. We try to do the little things, going that extra mile, going the extra yard, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that not only do they get what they need, but they get in and out in the time they need.
Sure.
And if they need help loading, if they need help carrying.
Sure.
We love to have pets visit. We love to have kids visit. And we have a lot of fun with them.
I noticed with regard to pets that you're a dog guy. Mm-hmm. You love dogs.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more and more photos of dogs in Nelson Ace Hardware
Yes.
these days.
Yeah,
It seems like a real influx over the last maybe year or so. What's that all about?
We started a social media campaign. Basically, it's Dogs of Nelson Ace, and it started out where somebody would come in with their dog on a leash, and we try to take some pictures. We ask some questions: what breed are they? How old are they? What do they like to do? And then we kind of create this little story that the dog came into Nelson's with their human kind of thing. And, and the dog is this years old, and they really like the treats. They gave him, 2 paws up, or, they like the Treatos and that kind of thing. And it just started to roll. Of course, because my wife and I are both dog lovers, when we're on social media, we get a lot of the dog stuff on our Instagram and our Facebook feeds. And so I kind of, plagiarize some of that in trying to put the dogs out there. But we are happy to have dogs, cats, any within reason, any pet. I'm not sure how most of our customers would react to snakes, for instance, but dogs and cats are in on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And we have, of course, you remember Wilson, the golden retriever. He and Rick would walk down the street.
Yes.
And now poor Wilson has gone over the Rainbow Bridge.
Yes,
But Rick now has Reese, and so Reese comes in every morning along with Rick. And he's a nice little golden retriever, and we always make fun of him. And now the party's here.
Yeah, and it is a party. I want to know how Kelly was able to, and we'll let her explain. 'Cause she's going to grab the seat next to Bob, but we'll let her explain. How did you did you have that inflatable horse costume on you? And just pull that mic right up close to you during the whole day over at Nelson's?
Pretty much.
How were you knocking stuff over? How did that work out? I was like, I saw the picture and I was like, oh, I'm using that this morning. But I'm like, she must have been knocking everything over.
No, it was a tame horse, so.
Wow.
She's a good rider.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, almost every time that Raylene and I talk about Nelson Ace Hardware, we talk about the fact that, and Bob, you've been on here before, you know that we talk about this, that when someone walks through that door, they're greeted, they're recognized, acknowledged, greeted with a smile, and can I help you find something? And that usually happens, and Raylene and I have had fun talking about this, whether it happens within 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 10 seconds. That is probably one of the biggest, along with your selection of pretty much everything that you have in there, that's probably one of the biggest takeaways is customer service above and beyond everything else, I think. At least that's what we say.
100%.
That's part of how you train your staff. You say, look, you're going to be working here at Nelson Ace Hardware, customer's number one, period.
There's no one more important than the person walking in the door.
Yeah.
Period. Not me, not her,
Yeah.
The most important person is that person that's walking in the door. They've made a choice to come to Nelson's, and we started that process 41 years ago. That's the way my mom and dad were, and so we've continued it. And Kelly and Annette have done a great job of as they train our younger people, and I say newer people because we have a lot of people that are young, the high school and the college age kids, and then we've got some younger kids in their 20s and 30s, younger compared to me anyway.
Yeah.
And then recently we've hired some retired people, and they require a little bit less training than the younger people. But again, the first thing we make sure they understand is that there isn't anybody more important than the person who comes in the door or is on the phone looking for help.
Yeah, that's a great point too, and I got to tell you, I want to ask you about the flood not even a year ago, and we'll talk more about that in a second here. But somebody like myself is who you guys really cater well to, and frankly, and we have fun about this all the time on the air. I'm pretty much a dumbass in every department, unless I'm walking in to buy a Yeti mug or something, and I like that color, and I don't have any questions. Everything else, I have questions. You know that. I mean, I walk in there, and it's like I was beeline looking for Mr. B or Clay and always just completely helpless. I got a problem at home. I've never had to replumb a sink or whatever. I have no idea what I'm looking for, and I've literally gone in with a hacksaw, cut it all out, and brought it in, as embarrassing as it is, and saying, I don't even know what any of this stuff is called. And Clay is like, finally, he's like, you don't have to ask any questions, JD. I'm going to get everything that you need. I'm going to tell you how to put it together and send you out of here. You guys are experts at that, at dealing with people like me.
We have a broad array of people. We have a lot of staff. We have more staff on our sales floor than most retail stores do. And part of that is because we have varying ages. We also have varying degrees of experience.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you come in and you're talking about a grill part, we have a couple of people that can help you, but the expert is Kelly. Kelly's the one that's going to say, okay, can you get me your serial number? What, this is what are you looking for? Because she's the expert in that. Andy and Stephen, Clay, on the days that he works, if you've got an intense plumbing problem where you need to rebuild something, then they're one of the three, and I guess I would throw myself into that mix just because I've done it for so long. So, but there are also varying degrees. If you just need a new stopper for your tub, any of us can take care of that for you. So having that varying degree of skills. And the other thing that we do a lot of, and particularly this year, more so than any year, and part of that was because the winter was so, it wasn't a winter really, we had long stretches where there was just nothing happening. And as a hardware store, you're weather driven. Weather's really bad,
absolutely,
you're busy. Weather's really nice, you're busy. Everything else is kind of fluctuates. So we had a lot of time to do training. So particularly with our grills, plumbing, lawn and garden, outdoor living, and electrical, we got a lot of training done this year, more so than any other year. So we have people who have little badges that some of them wear. They've earned their plumbing badge or their electrical badge. That means that they've spent 10 or 12 hours, doing online training, and have passed all the courses. Now, this doesn't mean that they're a master plumber or a master electrician, so, don't misinterpret that. But that means that they're going to be able to help you if you need some help figuring out how to put a disposer in or hook up your faucet. They've got those extra skills that they might not have had before.
So, true story. I think it was a week or two ago. We sprung a leak at my house down in the basement, a copper pipe that had just rotted away from minerals and sprung a leak, and it was a huge leak. And I mean, here's me. It's copper pipe.
Duct tape.
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, Glenn Brummer was
Not the prescribed solve, by the
Yep.
way.
Brummer was like flex seal. We have so basically the bottom line is I just left it alone because it'll take care of itself.
No.
At some point, Bob, the sump pump, two of which I bought from you guys, is going to kick on, and we'll get rid of the water that way. I'm kidding. Next morning, I come in. I'm telling the story on the air. Raylene's attacking me. We're having all kinds of fun with this. As soon as I got off the air, walked across the street. Again, don't know what's going on. Not a plumber. Last person you want doing plumbing at your house. But you guys got me hooked up with the shark bite fittings. God bless the man who created those things for people like me. And whatever else I needed. I can't remember what else, some steel wool or something. Gave me some instructions on what to do. Could not believe how easy it was. The pipe cutter, everything.
Yeah.
Could not believe how easy it was.
Good.
And, now with the technology of PEX, you guys have all that too. I mean, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so awesome for people like me, because I was like, oh my God, I don't have a torch and the solder. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to hire a plumber.
Yes, the shark bite and PEX fittings certainly have made residential homeowner plumbing a lot simpler.
Yeah.
They're not inexpensive, but
well worth it.
how many, not everybody is and a torch and particularly underneath you're in between your floor joists underneath your house and trying not to set your house on fire. So that's not everybody's thing. So yeah, it makes that's made a huge difference.
You guys talk about that you're driven by the weather. It's interesting how true that is, because here you guys got your trucks coming in with all your spring stuff, and then Mother Nature hands it to us hard with 2 feet of snow. And so you guys are kind of like traffic control. Bring it in, wait, hold on, hold up. Don't put the snow shovels away just yet. We might sell another snow blower, whatever.
That's right.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah, we were setting for spring, but we left like a 4-foot section of shovels up just in case.
Oh my God. Yeah, and everything that goes with Old Man Winter too. It's not just the shovels. It's the other stuff.
The ice melt.
The ice melt.
Sandbags and and
you guys must have been so anxious to put that stuff away and bring out the spring stuff.
yes.
Yep.
Is it safe to say that you guys over at Nelson maybe enjoy the spring and summer months with your product line more than your winter months?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all like to cook outside. We all like to spend time outside, use our Yeti cups,
Yeah. So this partnership with Yeti is pretty amazing over there, because every time I go in, it's a different rainbow colors and different and a different product line too. I mean, these coolers and everything are amazing.
They are. The Yeti products are amazing. The fact that they come out with new colors, in the spring and in the fall, eventually something's got to happen, because at some point, you just get so many colors.
Yeah.
And what happens is, and you may notice this, our display kind of flexes. So it'll be, 8 feet, and all of a sudden it might be 10 or 12 feet because the new colors have come in. And then as Yeti says, okay, it's time to rotate this color out. This color's coming out of the, the base product line. Then it kind of shrinks back down to the 8 feet, and then of course we got the stack of coolers, and you've got all the different colors in coolers as well. So,
Kelly, what's your story? I've never really had a chance to chat with you much. How did you become part of the Nelson family? And Bob, you jump in and interject anytime.
Bribes.
Too. So. Bribes?
yeah.
Like cash bribes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your story?
Well, I started there when I was in high school. I said, we'll give it a shot and see. And been there ever since. I've been with him for 25 years.
25 years.
I mean, he's tried to get rid of me a couple times. No, I'm just kidding. No, but 25 years with him. Yeah. So it's family.
Why 25 years? There's got to be, because I don't know, it just seems like, maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm talking like an old man here, but it just seems like nobody stays with their employer that long anymore, unless you're working for some, huge insurance company and you're making a massive salary and pension. But there's got to be a reason why 25 years later you're still with this hooligan.
Yep. No, it's family. He takes care of me. I take care of him. We run a great business. Or we're like dream team.
What was it like when Bob said to you, I want you to shift gears here. I want you to be a manager.
Before or after the tears?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Both of our tears.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
It was a big step to take, Not a lot of people are used to somebody being younger than them, managing them, but you communicate, you work together, and you make it work. So it was an honor to do, and still doing it. So
I don't think I have ever seen you not in movement ever. Not even standing still. I mean, she's just one thing after another. You talk about multitasking, and I think that's part of the reason why I've never really had a chance to chat with you. Is you got the
oh yeah, you're there everywhere.
You got the radio going. She's in a sense, Bob, traffic control.
Yeah. She runs the sales floor. She's and she's damn good at it. We're fortunate to have her there. But when the flood happened, and the response from the staff at Nelson's was just unbelievable. Everybody rallied together immediately the day once the water receded a little bit and we could get downtown. And Vermont Digger sent 7 Days sent a reporter down and said, we'd like to spend a couple of days with you. And the reporter finally ended up going down into the basement where Kelly was getting stuff up and out, getting it thrown into the dumpster and stuff. And the quote that always stuck with me, because it's true, is that Kelly was down there like a drill sergeant saying, hey, get this done. Go with this, do this, grab this from here, put it here, take care of it, get it in the dumpster, clean it up. We gotta make sure we take it out of stock because it's damaged. We can't sell it, so it's got to come out of our inventory. And that is, she's basically our master sergeant, our drill sergeant, throughout the day. She keeps everybody moving, make sure that everybody's got something to do, make sure that everybody's getting taken care of. And she's one of the go-tos when people come in. They look for Kelly, just like they looked in the past for Mr. B or Clay. And of course, Mr. B's retired, and Clay, and now they're looking for Andy and Jake. Mm-hmm. So it's she keeps the sales floor running, and we just Annette and I just try to stay out of her way mostly.
Kelly, what was your house like during the flood last July?
It was all right. It was good. We lost our culvert and had some damage to our lawn, but other than that, we were fortunate. We're the last house on the hill that the culvert's there, and so everything came down that way.
Did you know all hell was breaking loose on North Main Street in Barrie?
I did not. I was actually supposed to be on vacation that week, and then when the text messages started coming through what was going on downtown, Matt and I headed down to the store and started doing what we could.
Kept trying to make her go away because she was supposed to be on vacation, but she kept coming back.
Did you make sure you punched in first?
Nope, I did not. I didn't punch in once.
Isn't that something, Bob?
She is something for sure.
So what was on your mind? Ground floor or basement? What was your your concern right off when this was all going on?
Well, once we squeegeed out the mud on the first floor and noticed that things were okay up there, then once we looked into the basement, that's kind of when your heart sank and
Yeah.
and was broken, because there was a lot. It was overwhelming. There was a lot of damage down there, and then you turn and you look at your boss's face and see it on his face. It was just, we gotta pull together and get this done and help each other.
What was Bob's face?
Ugly.
It was just a lot of emotions, I guess you could look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
upset. It was sad. It was frustrating. It was just everything all into one, and just you could just see it, and then you just knew it was.
Yeah. And then throw in the fact, even if there were no customers around, you would be busy and stressed enough as it would be, but throw a bunch of customers in here in Central Vermont that are losing their livelihood, and they're in crisis, and they're relying on you, and all they care about is their loved ones, their friends, their neighbors, and themselves, and their situation, and they're coming to you in crisis, saying, "I need this, and I need it right now."
Well, like Bob said, you said everybody. They need a hardware store, and we need to open our doors, and we did. We opened up the back door, and even though we were knee deep in mud and water or whatever,
No power in
no
two of the
power.
four buildings.
Yeah, we would set down what we were doing, help them get their sump pump, get their garden hose, get them masks, whatever they needed.
Yeah.
Our stuff wait. We'll make sure you get what you need and get home to help your families.
I was so grateful that you guys had a couple of sump pumps left. And I just, when I came in, there were a lot of people. It was pretty chaotic. And I remember you guys were just like, the sound in there, I could just hear just the sound and everyone talking. How were you able to run your registers and process transactions without the electricity?
Good old-fashioned handwriting.
We processed before we got our internet and the power. We had power in one of the buildings, and so we had one register, one point of sale that was up and running at that point. And we were working feverishly to get the water out of the basement so that we could replace the power downstairs so that we could get power and lights back on. We were helping people with flashlights in a couple of the buildings. We had 428 handwritten credit card slips, 414 of which we were able to process once we got our internet back up and running. We had 14 where we had either written down a product number wrong, or a digit on their credit card, or a expiration date, and managed to resolve all 14 when we were able to call the people and ask them, can we just verify your information? And yeah, that was a time. There was a lot. You and I talked about that. Shortly thereafter, it was a lot, and things are better at retail. We're pretty normal right now. We've got we still have some. My wife and I are still working on some issues in the basement. Matter of fact, we just finished putting in some flood mitigation, drainage, and that type of thing. And
you just
sump
had
pumps.
you just had some water coming in there a couple of weeks ago, right? Like 2 weeks ago.
A week ago, there was water in the basement. It's nuisance water at this point. It just kind of creeps in. The flood opened up all these new avenues for water to just find its way to a spot. So that's why we put in these. We hired somebody to come in and put in these flood mitigation things that help take the groundwater, so that instead of coming up through the floor, they're going into these troughs and then going to a sump pump and being pushed out.
You said to me, Bob, one of the last I think one of the first times that I spoke with you since the flood on the air, you said, and I'll never forget this because I wrote it down, we can't take another hit like this. Mm-hmm. And Kelly's shaking her head. That was a big one. Most companies don't recuperate after something like that, and many haven't statewide. Do you have concerns about the next flood? Will there be a next flood?
All the experts say yes, whether you're talking to weather or you're talking to emergency management people. So the assumption is that it's going to happen again.
You concerned about that river behind you?
Yeah. One of the things that we did as part of this mitigation process is we now have sump pumps that are pumping the groundwater into the stormwater system. But one of the problems is when you have the type of water that we've had a couple of times now recently, the stormwater system gets overrun. So some pumps are trying to pump into something that's already full. Mm-hmm. So some of our, we have backup sump pumps now that will pump out into the street. The city gave us the okay to pump any water once the stormwater system is free,
sure,
is full. It allows us to at least keep some of that, put some of that water out, outside.
Yeah.
The numbers that we talked about a little less than a year ago when we discussed it were pretty close. It's it's going to be $500,000 probably in property damage and about $200,000 at wholesale for the business.
Okay.
So it's there's a process involved, and we're working through it. Like I say, we've got a lot of things that we're still working on for the buildings themselves. But at retail, we're pretty good. I think we've got a little bit more inventory in our basement than I'd like right now. But it's spring. You can't have one gas grill and you can't have one lawnmower. So we're hoping that within the next couple of months that that'll get thinned out a little bit.
What was the dollar value of the inventory lost during that flood?
The wholesale value was just under $200,000.
Just under $200,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
we're still finding little bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's never ending.
It isn't. It's a lot better than it was. We worked really hard in January to try to inventory everything in the store.
Woo.
Which is it's not a fun process or an easy process.
Was Kelly eating Domino's pizza that week?
I don't know. I think probably the better conversation would be about her beverages and not her food.
So insurance is not taking care of everything here.
We had some building insurance that did help with as far as rebuilding our furnaces and getting our heat and hot water up and running. But of course, took a lot of time. And as you and I talked about before we went on air, the permits and everything that is involved with that now, particularly, they were a little bit lax right after the flood. You said, hey, I need to do this. They said, okay, put in for the permit, and then they allowed us to do the work.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more stringent now, so some of these things are taking a little bit more time. But there's no insurance in the world that will cover inventory that is below grade in a floodplain.
Yeah.
So,
Kelly, what is your biggest takeaway from the flood? What do you remember the most? I mean, so many people saw you filthy, dirty, covered in mud. If you weren't mucking, you were moving inventory or helping customers. But what was your big takeaway? What is something that you remember either about the whole experience or about customers or about this guy sitting next to you?
There was a lot to take away from it. It was, again, amazing to see the community come together. We had people walking out back. Hey, you need a hand? We'll give you an hour. Or they'll whatever they could do to clean, to help us out. people dropping off meals for us.
Oh, yeah.
We did not starve. That's for sure.
No, you guys fired up some grills. I mean, you were cooking out there. You had somebody that was bringing you meats and stuff.
Yeah.
And
No,
you were feeding your volunteers, people that were just showing up to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
It was. It was just amazing how people just stopped what they were doing and would come down and help us and
Took time away from their jobs.
Exactly. Yeah, it took time, and we didn't know any of them. I turn around downstairs and I got two people down there I've never met before in my life, and they're like, "What can we do? What can we?" We're like, Jen and I are like, "Grab this and go."
This is far beyond, Bob, tools and paints and kitchen supplies and things. There's a lot more going on here, having a hardware store like that and having a reaction like that from our community.
Yeah, agreed. It, and I think, like Kelly, and we get asked this. My wife and I get asked this on, a fairly regular basis. What sticks out, and it was two things: the way our staff stepped up from the high school, the 15-year-old high school kid who had just started and was thrown into the mud and muck and just rolled their sleeves up and went to work, to the managers that worked doggedly, went over and above to make sure that not only did we try to get our place cleaned up and get back to doing business, but that we were able to take care of the community that needed us. And then the community response and the volunteers that anytime, people were, again, to her point, buying us lunch. I don't think we had to go out and try to find lunch for almost a month.
No.
But it's the people, it's the community, and you've heard me talk about it a lot. The community is good to us, and so it's easy for us to be good back to them, and I think that feels good for both sides, and certainly that was true during the flood.
We must have been doing something right, because we had old employees, Terrell, people that used to work for us
Showing up.
15, 20 years ago, showing up.
Yeah.
Driving from...
Who came from out of state.
Came out from out of state and was like, what can I do? And it's like...
Yeah. And people, family and friends from out of state, saying, hey, you guys don't have to worry about lunch on Thursday. I've called and it's going to be delivered. Those are the things that stick out. The pressure and the tension and the hard work, that'll dissipate over time, but the response of the people, the people at Nelson's and the people in the community won't fade. That's
you
gonna
guys
stay
were
there.
the only business, really. I mean, maybe not the only, but at least from what I remember, there was the dirt, the dust. It was like an apocalypse, but Nelson's was open.
Sort of. We were limping. Yes.
Out back we were, not out front.
Yeah.
I remember the day of the flood. We were on the air that morning, and there was some sandbagging going on. I could see you guys putting sandbags out and getting ready, because we knew there was going to be some flooding. I don't think we really knew the extent of that flood, because all hell broke loose at around 5:30 or so that night. And I remember I came over to say goodbye to you, Bob, and it had been pouring for a long time. And I walked in, I said, how you doing? We're doing great. You said, we got a little bit of water in the basement. We got plenty of sump pumps. Let your listeners know that we've got sump pumps if they need it, and we'll be available to them. But other than that, we're doing all right. And that was at 4:30. And at like 5:15,
we were closed up and gone.
Yeah. And then what did you do? How did you find out what was happening on North Main Street?
There's people that social media and some of the folks that lived in the apartments upstairs, knew that I would be concerned, and they would send me videos. So I had a pretty good idea what to expect when we got down here. Again, we kind of laugh because everybody says, you guys just came together so quick and you got things done and you were up and running. And it's a bad news, good news thing. The bad news is that unfortunately, Nelson's is used to
It's not our first rodeo.
disasters,
Yes.
and we thrive on chaos.
Yeah.
And the good news is that we're used to flooding, and we're used to having water, and we're used to being able to recover from it. So
Yeah.
that's the flip side of that is
Sure.
that it's a good news, bad news thing. And again, we've all to have staff like Annette, Kelly, Clay, and some of these people that have been with me, Nelson's for 20 to 25 years.
Right.
We've been there before, so we all knew
Ice
what to do and
jams.
how to start. Exactly. And
Yeah.
broken sprinkler pipes that flooded the basement,
that's
and
fun.
stuff like that. So, but that was an experience, and we're hoping not to repeat it. But we're back to normal. We've got product in. We've been working all spring on updating product lines.
Yeah.
If folks come in right now in our new seasonal, our seasonal room that was new a few years ago,
Sure.
there's a bunch of tables that have stuff that's marked way down because as we try to stay current with our product mix, that means that this widget that maybe hasn't sold, and Ace suggests that you remove it from your mix. And one of the things that Kelly and I work together closely with is, okay, so Ace says that throughout the country this isn't selling. How is it doing for us? Maybe we want to keep it. Maybe somebody buys it. Maybe you buy one a week for whatever you're using it for. So we kind of customize that mix. So we've got a lot of that stuff that's been marked down, but we've also added a lot of new items.
Yeah.
Milwaukee and DeWalt and Craftsman, whether you're talking an Ego, whether you're talking outdoor power equipment,
Yeah.
or you're talking power tools and accessories, that's all been redone. Our center aisle now has all of our power tool selection and our power tool accessories. Kelly merchandised all of that. It looks amazing. She
Yeah.
does a great job at that. We're trying. For folks that come in on a fairly regular basis, they'll see that we have some very classy plastic hanging in our seasonal room, and we're missing a section of our wall with an ongoing project for us to what I swear is going to be our last expansion. So the old Coins and Hobbies space, they left, and we said, hey, it's right next door to us. It's 1,200 square feet. It'll be easy to knock a little hole in the wall. We'll get it done. Take no time at all. So 6 months later, we're still trying to get that done.
Yeah.
And it's very close. The steel is supposed to go in this week, although I've not seen it as of yet. And then once that's done, we'll be able to, close it in with some nice pine boards, get it painted, and we will have a room specifically for our seasonal items: grills, grilling accessories, sauces and rubs, pellets.
And this is Coins and Hobbies?
The old Coins and Hobby
Okay.
space, yes.
All
right. And because we're in the downtown,
Yes.
and we're occupying what will be 5 buildings, the floors go, floor goes here, and the next one goes here, and the next one goes here, and the next one goes here. So there will be a little ramp to go in there, and but we're really excited about it. The guys at Stone and Browning owned the building.
Yeah.
They agreed to rent it to us.
Good people.
And,
Good people.
They've done a nice job on the inside. We're going to have a brick wall. I think it's going to look really cool
Yeah,
once
it's
we
gonna look sharp.
get the product in there. They cleaned up the exterior wall of the Miles building, actually.
Yeah.
Miles block. And we're really excited about that. We'd hoped it was going to be done in February, but,
I see the Milwaukee hat, and my dad was a big Milwaukee guy, and it rubbed off on me. I've got the string trimmer, but I also have the attachment with the metal blade on it.
Yeah.
That brush
cutter.
Brush cutter.
Yep.
My God, is that thing unbelievable?
Yep.
And I remember you saying to me when you were on the air, it had to be a year ago, that more and more people are just so sick and tired of dealing with gasoline and the ethanol and the carb cleans and the spark plugs and it's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Transporting it around, your gasoline spilling around, whatever. More and more people are going electric now. And you said to me, if you're not an electric power tool guy, you may not be familiar with how powerful they are. The M18, the M12 batteries, which are in some cases the most important or the most expensive part of the tool, is the battery.
To some extent.
To some extent.
Yeah.
And you told me that you had a Milwaukee chainsaw, an electric chainsaw at home, and you were like, look out. You got the tiny little like 6 or 7 inch for brush and stuff, but there's also like a 14-inch I think that you guys have. That's my next thing. I'm adding to my repertoire of Milwaukee line at my house. I love Milwaukee. You walk in there, everything's red everywhere. Nelson's.
Yes, it is red and yellow, and then the green and black. The Ego is another of our outdoor power equipment lines that is just exploded.
Yes, mowers.
The mowers.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we have zero-turn mower on the sales floor that if anybody's interested in, you can mow about 1.5 acres with it, and it's quiet.
Yeah, you don't even need to put on the headphones or whatever.
You don't need to service it. It's got really low center of gravity, so that if you're doing, you're doing some hills, some side hills, you don't have to worry about tipping with it.
Right. Kelly is probably most excited. There's a drink holder for these. Is that true?
And the cell phone holder.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you can. It's got a spot to put your cell phone in, so you can charge your cell phone.
No texting and mowing
I
at the
know.
same time. But that Eco is kicking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they on their box it says the number 1 consumer rated outdoor power equipment line, and it is, and there's a reason for it. They just work. They're a great company. If you have a problem, they're very responsive. We're able to service the products.
Yeah.
We don't do the service ourselves on the mowers and the snow blowers and the zero turns. But as far as if there's a problem with a blower or anything, they're great about making sure that we either get parts or we get replacement product.
Yeah, they take care of us. We take care of the customers.
As does Milwaukee as well. We have a great relationship.
But you get people that walk up to these things and look and they say, "That's it."
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Kind of like looking in a Tesla. That's it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep. The way they last, the amount of runtime that you can get, the amount of torque that you can get, the amount of power that you can get out of a battery operated chainsaw, for instance, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I don't take carbs apart and clean them and do things. I just know carb adjustments and everything. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's also something to be said for, you talk about longevity, but also there's a price tag for that too. This is not stuff that is going out the door with a small price tag on it. I mean, but they last. That's the trade-off.
And again, no matter which one you buy, whether you buy the DeWalt, the Milwaukee, the Ego, even Craftsman, we carry the Craftsman product as well. And I don't talk about that as much because the Milwaukee and the DeWalt lines are a little bit more. They're homeowner and somebody who's doing this more often than just once a week.
Yeah.
The Craftsman I don't think you can use in more of a commercial setting, but the DeWalt outdoor power equipment and the Milwaukee and the Ego for sure you can use those in commercial settings. And a lot of places, like in Chittenden County right now, they're almost all going battery operated products up there because there's a noise ordinance. So between the push to go away from gas powered anything in Vermont, you have the noise ordinance as well. This allows somebody who's trimming or mowing, it allows them to start at 6 a.m. and not disturb anybody. That way they can get more work done. Yeah, that's happening a lot.
What's when it comes to grills? That's your thing, Kelly. You love the grills.
I do. Yeah.
You know about what do you have at home? Do you have one of the Traegers? What do you have?
I don't have a Traeger. I have 2 grills. I have a 22-year-old Weber one, and then that's got one leg, but it still fires up. And then I have a Genesis.
Okay.
4-burner. So we use that quite often.
I'm sure you got it at Nelson, and I know that you guys have this Genesis line. You have a Weber line, you have a Blackstone line. What am I forgetting? Traeger, the Blackstone griddles. I've been asking the Father's Day gods for one of those for quite a while now. They're so popular. You can not only put your bacon and cook a whole dinner on it. You can put steaks, everything.
Yep.
And you guys have all the seasoning, all the rubs. It's a one-stop shop when you walk into Nelson.
You can even make popcorn on a Blackstone.
Come on.
Yeah.
My brother has one. Absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
Loves it. So easy to clean. The grease catcher, everything is just amazing. What's going on this weekend? Are you guys going to serve up some treats?
We're going to have some treats. So Ace, has I think maybe 4 or 5 national events. The one for this weekend is for grilling. A lot of them is around grilling and outdoor power equipment.
Yeah.
I think this is called What's New at Ace. Does that sound right? So they're the emphasis is on showing the newer products that have come in, particularly in outdoor power equipment, and in grilling. And because they started in April, it's April in Vermont. You
Right.
don't know what you're going to get. So we are going to have some treats that have been cooked on a Traeger.
Okay.
For people to sample this weekend inside. I'm not going to be cooking outside just because, again, you never know what the weather's going to bring us this time of year. So, but there'll be one. I think we'll be outside in May.
Okay.
Memorial Day weekend is another event, and then in maybe a Father's Day and probably 4th of July, and then the next one will be Labor Day. So those are in our circular. There, you can find them on our social media pages. You can find them on NelsonAceHardware.com, and we'll have somebody out there cooking, whether it's myself or Chris Powers or Kelly or Annette. We all cook on all the time on our grills.
I loved that Milwaukee demo day that you guys did a while ago. I can't remember. I think that was when I got my first electric tool.
Yep.
Was then, or at least ordered it, I think. Is that I can't remember. Is it Nick or something from Boston?
Yeah.
Is he coming back?
Yeah, matter of fact, he's going to be here today. So, talking about commercial use, we're going to call on a commercial landscaper that's looking to go outfit some of their crew to battery because, in part because of the ease of use. They also have to have somebody full time to service all of the gas powered equipment.
Sure.
And also because they're working in some areas where being able to start at 6 o'clock and only hearing the whir of the trimmer as opposed to the motor of the trimmer makes a difference. So we're calling on a couple of people today. So we will do another one of those. I don't think Nick and I have set a date. Typically it will be in August or September as we're kind of getting into that fall cleanup where you need your chainsaw and you need your trimmer and that kind of thing as you're getting ready to prepare your lawn for the winter.
You guys are of course recycle your fluorescent bulbs. You can go into Nelson's and get your tools, your knives sharpened. You get your UPS service there, but you can also get some kitchen supplies. You can get your mole killer because the moles are horrible this time of year. My God, what they're doing to people's lawns. Fertilizer, seed, all kinds of different seeds for shade, for patching, for whatever, mowing, trimming. Everything. I don't think that you guys will come out and mow my lawn.
No.
Is that the only no? I think that's probably the only no.
Yeah, I make designs in lawns.
Yes.
She likes to try to spell her name in the grass.
I'll tell you, man. Annette and Clay and your new guy. What's his name? Trying to think of your new guy.
Jake. Andy?
Might be Andy.
Steven?
Andy is
Jonathan?
who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Just a great team, man. You guys are so dialed in. You know exactly what you're doing. The comments.
It's good that you think that.
Well, it's. I'll tell you, it's not just me that thinks it. The comments that are coming in about you guys this morning, you ought to go back and read them. There's a lot of love that's being thrown at you right now.
Thank
and
you.
A lot of people tuned in and watching.
Right back at them.
And, we're more than blessed to have Nelson Ace Hardware here. We just flat out rely on you guys. We need you more than anything, in so many different ways. We need you guys, and you have proven time and time again that you'll be there for anyone, for any reason, at any time, whether you don't know anything that you're doing, like me, and need everything put in your hand along with some instructions on how to do it, or the expert that comes in. They know exactly what they want. They know what they're looking for. You guys are a huge umbrella.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we are so blessed to have you connected to what we do here, right across the street. If there's anything that's going on, any sales that you have that you're doing on grills or whatever, we're going to be watching carefully.
All right.
And pushing it out.
Well, we're again, that it goes the other way. We're appreciative to be in Barrie, where I get asked probably once a week, have you thought about moving? Have you thought about getting out so that you don't have to worry about the flooding? And there were times in July and August last year where it crossed my mind. I'm not going to say, after dragging home and sitting down and going, what am I doing? How are we really making progress?
Right.
And we were, but it seemed to come so slowly. But this community is our community, and
Yeah.
we're entrenched here, and we don't plan on going anywhere. I can tell you that Nelson's will be here for at least a few years more, and our intention is that it will continue when my wife and I retire. That it will continue to be a hardware store, whether it's Nelson's or not.
Wow.
Remains to be seen, but it will.
41 years. That's unbelievable, man. So, do you ever go away on vacation, Bob?
Do I?
Cricket.
I
Deer
go.
camp.
Yes, I go to deer camp. Yes.
Big deal. When's the last time you've been to the Caribbean, Bob?
Let's see.
My
Parents' 50th wedding anniversary, which was 20 years ago. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. But I do go to deer camp.
But when you
I've gone 10 days, and Kelly's like, you've been gone a month.
But that if you're checked out for a little while, whether it's an emergency situation or you're up at deer camp or whatever, that Kelly and Annette can drive the bus very well.
Sometimes I wonder if it's being driven off a cliff, but
There's days.
no, I've often said that I'm so fortunate to have the two of them, and now Linda, my wife Linda, has joined the store as well.
Yes.
And
I forgot that.
yeah. So she likes to bill herself as a silent partner, except she's not silent. But I truly believe that there are many times when probably Nelson's runs smoother when I'm not there.
Okay.
Truly, I am so fortunate in that I can come over and do this and know that everything across the street is running as good or better than it would be if I was over there.
Kelly, let's air it out. Are there any Linda Bob fights? Just yes or no. Yes or no question.
Yes. I'll answer that.
I
Yes.
say, oh, mom and dad are fighting.
Yeah. When the radio goes really quiet, Linda and I are probably having words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, do you bring it home? Do you get it home in the kitchen? I told you we needed some more of that stuff. You should have ordered it.
No.
No.
Okay. It's mostly about everything that I do wrong.
Oh, wow.
And at home, I don't do anything wrong because I try not to do anything at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's taken over as comptroller, and that was my job before. And the reason that we needed her was because I could not stay focused on it long enough to do the job properly. Truly.
Sure.
So, bank statements are getting done 3 days after we get the bank statements, where it was 3 months when I was doing it because I was so busy. And so, this first year, as we're kind of learning, she's trying to help me unlearn the bad habits that I had.
Yeah.
Because she is very exacting and very precise, and that's exactly why Nelson's needed her. She makes us as good administratively as we are at retail. It's really made a big difference.
Kelly, 25 years?
25, yes.
In that time of 25 years, come on now. There must have been a couple of Kelly Bob fights.
Oh, yeah.
Were there a couple of good ones?
Not bad. I would give him the silent
Well, there's a lot of
treatment.
crying.
There is a lot of crying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but not fighting so much.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
You're gonna have your days where you
Sure.
disagree with each other, but then
Is he a good boss?
he's a great boss.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have him. I'm just trying to get a raise.
I understand.
I'll get you a step stool.
Yes, thank you.
That's your raise.
Thank you. No, he's great. He's been there for me, and in many ways I can't even
Yeah.
tell you. And so I'm very lucky to have him and to work for him.
Kind of a dad, a big brother, a good friend, a boss,
There's a
a
lot.
mentor. All of those. Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
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 All of those things.
Sure.
Yeah. No, she said it earlier. We're a family.
Yep.
And that's what I tell people when they come on board. Welcome to the Nelson Hardware family, because we are, and somebody will be having a problem of some kind, and I'll say, talk to me, and let's see if I can help you resolve it. For better or for worse, you're part of my family now. So if I can help you, I'm going to help you. And if that help means I got to be maybe a little stern with you to help you see the right thing, or if I've got to prop you up, or whatever it means. And Kelly does the same thing every day, and so does Annette. That's part of being the management team is to make sure that everybody's able to perform and feel their best while they're at Nelson's.
Yeah.
So,
41 years is. That's amazing, Bob.
yeah. Kelly
That's
was 6
incredible.
when I hired her.
Labor laws.
Yeah.
It is such an honor to have all of you, Annette and Kelly, Andy, Clay, and the rest of the whole team as a presenting sponsor. And you guys keep it simple. You make it fast and easy. NelsonAceHardware.com. If you want to order something, you guys are open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6.
Correct.
Saturdays, 7:30 to 5. And when your do-it-yourself project on Saturday did not go as planned, you still have a couple hours on Sunday
We'll see you
when you
Sunday
open.
morning at
Yeah,
9.
9 to 1 on Sundays.
How many times have you seen that, right?
Yep.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
for coming in here, man.
Thanks for
you.
having
This
us.
is fun.
We love you to pieces. A lot of great comments this morning. A lot of people
Super.
click and like and thumbs up on you guys. You're loved so much by our community, and we thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. I know you guys are going to run right back across the street right
Get
now.
back to work.
Yeah.
Probably already in trouble.
But hopefully they have the truck done.
That's right. We left them unloading the Ace
Yeah.
truck.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.